at the Center for Ecological Sciences, which is a part of the Indian Institute of Science at Bangalore, Professor Raghavendra Gadagkar's students will vouch for the fact that he is one of the best teachers when it comes to molecular biology and animal behavior. But what does Professor Gadagkar himself feel?
Don't assume that your teacher is always right.
Now that's what makes Professor Gadagkar a revolutionary as also a pioneering researcher. His is the spirit of a true scientist. Always questioning, ever exploring the theory that there can always be more than one answer. Considered one of the foremost experts in molecular biology and animal behavior, Professor Gadagkar's association with the Indian Institute of Science goes back to 1974.
After obtaining a master's degree in zoology, I found myself equally fascinated by molecular biology on the one hand and animal behavior on the other. At that time there weren't very good facilities to do research in animal behavior in India, but the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore offered me the only position available for a PhD in interdisciplinary molecular biology, and I accepted it. Thus I spent 5 years pursuing a PhD in molecular biology, but at this time I actually led a double life, continuing my interest in animal behavior as a hobby. And this was very useful because the study of animal behavior gave me a new evolutionary perspective for my studies in molecular biology, and the study of molecular biology gave me a more reductionist, a more analytical perspective on the study of animal behavior. On the other hand, there was enormous pressure to go abroad for a postdoctoral fellowship from my teachers and from my peers. So the decision really was between United States and between India, and the decision was easy. I decided to stay in India, convert my hobby into my profession, and I have since spent all my time studying animal behavior, and I have never really regretted my decision. I consider myself one of the happiest scientists working in India.
This interest in science and particularly animal behavior can be traced back to the influence of his teacher, Mr. Chacko, when he was still in the 7th standard.
Life in school was actually a lot of fun, because at that stage there was really no distinction between science, arts, humanities and literature, and I enjoyed all of these. In fact, my Hindi teacher recommended that I take up Hindi literature for a career, while my biology teacher persuaded me to take interest in biology. Actually, my biology teacher, Mr. Chacko, won because he allowed me when I was in 7th standard to participate in an inter-school science exhibition meant only for the 8th, 9th and 10th class students, and this was a highly inspiring factor which actually motivated me to get into biology for my career.
Professor Gadagkar was born in Kanpur, and because his father was in the Indian Air Force, the family had to constantly be on the move.
Finally, when we moved to Chennai and my father was ready to send me to school, I was old enough for the 3rd standard but hadn't yet seen 1st standard. As a compromise, I was admitted to the 2nd standard with the threat that I would be demoted to the 1st standard if I didn't do well. My father explained this to me as a challenge to me and a matter of honor for him. Fortunately, I did well in school and actually got a double promotion to make up for the lost time.
Later, his overwhelming interest in science won him the National Science Talent Search Examination, as also the NCERT scholarship.
When I started my research career, molecular biology and animal behavior were considered two very different fields. But today the situation has changed completely. In our own studies, for example, we use molecular biology techniques to measure genetic relatedness between wasps in a colony, the genetic structure of natural populations and evolutionary changes in the wasps. Even taxonomy, which is the most classical field of biology, has started using molecular techniques in a very powerful way.
Professor Gadagkar was married to Geeta, whom he met while they were still students. She too teaches at the Indian Institute of Science.
I met Raghavendra in 1969 in the first year of BSc Honours course. We were in the same course, and well, the first time I saw him, we were electing him as the class representative, and that's when I fell for him. And then we stayed together for 5 years in college till we finished our masters. And then I went over to Nainital to teach biology in Sherwood, and he came to IISc to do his PhD. And well, we stayed in touch, and I came back and he finished his PhD and we decided to get married. So essentially from 1969 we've been together as best friends, and there has never been a dull moment after we got married. And then we had Vikram. That was the best thing that happened to us. And
in this ever smooth transition from his personal life to his work, Professor Raghavendra's attachment for the Center for Ecological Sciences at the Indian Institute of Science stems from the fact that it offers exciting opportunities for research in a variety of areas in ecology.
The Indian Institute of Science covers all branches of science and engineering. However, we have no representation of social science, humanities, arts and literature. I think this is a major lacuna because students in the natural sciences must be exposed to these various other disciplines. In order to try and fulfill this lacuna, the Center for Contemporary Studies organizes discussions, debates, seminars between scholars in various disciplines which are not covered in the Indian Institute of Science, such as history, philosophy, sociology, literature, music, art, cinema. We bring scholars in these various disciplines from all over the world and create opportunities for the students in our institute to discuss with them, to debate with them on the modes of knowledge production in different disciplines. The hope is that at least the future generation of students will be more familiar with each other's way of working. After all, knowledge is being produced by various people in various disciplines. The question is how to understand this knowledge production, how to evaluate this knowledge, and how to integrate knowledge from different disciplines.
In fact, it is this thinking out of the box that leads Professor Gadagkar to believe that there cannot be any distinction between science and technology or pure and applied science. The real distinction, as he puts it, is only between good science and bad science. It is this approach that endears him so much to his students.
He is a great teacher. He can inspire any student, and whatever I have learnt in all these 7 years about animal behavior, about evolution, about the subject at large, and about teaching and being a good teacher is from him. I have been especially happy to have a guide like him who has not only sort of encouraged the scientific aspect of life in IISc, but also has always insisted that we should also have life outside academics.
Professor Gadagkar is a winner of many prestigious awards, and he is the author of such works as Survival Strategies, Cooperation and Conflict in Animal Societies, and The Social Biology of Rupalidia marginata. Let's have a look at his likes and dislikes.
it's very interesting. He is very social with in his own circle. Like, he's most comfortable with his students. He's always laughing and joking with his students. And he becomes a little bit of an introvert when he's exposed to relatives.
Is he a theist or atheist?
I do not believe in a God that will bend the laws of nature just to get me out of a tight spot. On the other hand, I enormously enjoy the cultural and social practices associated with various religions.
Raghavendra is an extremely non-fussy person when it comes to food, and that has really helped me.
What is his wildest dream?
Well, my wildest dream is to see India become a developed country in my lifetime.
Clothing, yes, that's his weakness. He likes to be well dressed and he loves new clothes. Reading is mainly technical books and some heavy philosophy, but rarely he reads non-fiction.
What fascinates him?
The secrets of nature and the remarkable ability of the human mind to unravel them.
What does he have to say to young students?
Learn to think on your own don't just accumulate facts. Don't assume that your teacher is always right.